Welcome to the Live Bright Show, the pod for badass service-based entrepreneurs who are creating businesses and lives that are fun, successful, and free. And now your host, seven-figure business owner, coach, and founder of the Live Bright movement, here to help you own your potential, Moran.
Welcome to the pod. Today, I am so excited. I have got Drew Larison. Drew is a speaker. He's a podcaster. He owns Larison Media, which specializes in helping service businesses have a big impact. He owns the Kokomo Post, which I want to hear more about. He has a real estate company. He is a devoted father and husband and CrossFitter, and he is everywhere, man. And I'm so glad to have him here on the show. So welcome to the show, Drew.
Oh, that is a fascinating thing. Have somebody list off the things that I am. That was interesting. Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm like, oh, I am that. Oh, I do that. And like, you don't realize how much you do until somebody else lists them off. That was fascinating. Yeah.
You're a busy guy, man. Yeah. Like, which one did you like forget about for a second there as I was listing them off?
The CrossFitter really threw me off because I mean, I do go to CrossFit consistently. But like, I am not like one of those guys that are like chucking barbells in the air and doing like burpees at the same time. I go for mainly mental health. It's done some physical things, but I'm a fan of it. Yeah.
That's great. Back in the day, I was a CrossFitter as well.
Oh,
and
really?
It was the same thing. Yeah, I did it for several years actually. And I loved the it was like individual and team at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I loved that piece of it. And it was this great compact workout in an hour. But then,
gosh.
you know, I was doing some kind of, what do they call them? It's not like a chin up, but it's like a kipping. I was doing
like
kipping.
A kipping pull up. Yeah.
I was doing a kipping pull up and then I injured my shoulder like a lot of people do at CrossFit. And so then I stopped going and I go elsewhere now. But yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's great. So awesome. Yeah. Well,
you're not wrong. It's a lot in a short amount of time. And one of the biggest things I love about it, which you could probably relate to it, really the only thing I need to do is show up because I love that the workout is already written. I don't have to decide what I'm doing today. I just have to show up and do it. And that's one of my favorite things about it. Like I don't have to make any decisions.
Right. I think that's really common. And a lot of business owners I talk to are like that too, because all we do is make decisions all day long.
Oh my gosh, it's constant.
And then you go home and you're like, and for me, I go home and it's like, okay, now what's for dinner? And I'm like, oh my God, another decision. Like I can't do all this. Right. Yeah. But so I do the same thing. I go to a gym and it's decided for me. My trainer tells me what to do, which is great. And I follow a running plan and that's decided and I just check it off and it's good.
Yeah. Love that.
All right. Awesome. So Drew, well, thanks for being here. So let's jump into it. Tell me, you've got all these businesses. What's the most fun you've had in business in the past year?
Oh man, fun. This is where I'll sound like a crazy person probably actually, your audience is all in the same world, so they'll understand it. So we've grown a lot in the last like 18 to 24 months in general. Like we're talking 4 or 5x top line revenue growth in like the last like 24 months. So
wow,
sounds great, right? Until you've done it before, and then you realize like, oh, that sounds like it's been hard because it has, right? Because growth is really hard. But at the same time, I have a really good team. I have really good people that lean in to it because the difference of having people that don't lean into that and like they get scared off or overwhelmed by like the change that needs to happen so the other change can happen is huge, you know. But I have a really good team that knows my strengths, knows where I need help filled in, where I can't naturally fill in, and they've made it really fun. But it's been hard, but like I love coming to work every day still, like with all those crazy decisions we're talking about, right? And when you grow that much that quick, there are so many decisions to make. And
that's huge.
Decisions you didn't even know you would ever have to make.
Right. And you're talking about Larison Media,
correct?
Right?
Larison Media.
Okay. Yeah. So that's, well, first of all, congratulations. That's like phenomenal growth, because it's not like you were a startup business where like, like when startups, it's like, yeah, I grew 100% this year. I grew 300% this year. Well, it's like from zero to, from zero. So cool. But you were already established. So growing, did you say you like 4 or 5x?
Close to it. Yeah. Because I mean, Larison Media will be 10 years old this year. So we're celebrating 10 years. And I've told this story before, but like until around year 7, so I'm in Kokomo, Indiana, which is a classic like mid-sized Midwestern town. We're like 40 minutes straight north of Indianapolis. And honestly, I really suffered from small thinking for a long time, because we started the agency and I was, for some reason, really perfectly okay with just being a local Kokomo agency. Like I thought maybe I would do this forever, And then I went to one group and my whole mindset completely changed on like what's out there and things like that. So what really started that growth is that realization, like we don't have to just work in Kokomo. There is a world out there. Oh my gosh. There are small businesses outside of Kokomo that need our help. We should help them. And like, that's when we were like, all right, how do we do that? And that's when I like started traveling a bunch and meeting amazing people like you and just other people in this world of home services. And that's what started. But really, I suffered from small brain syndrome. Like I just wasn't thinking big, which now I have a really hard time not thinking too big at times. But like that's when things really changed for us. So you're right. Like the growth we've had is wild for a company that was like 6-7 years old to have, but it was because we completely switched our brain switch of like, oh wait, we don't have to just service people in Kokomo anymore. There's a world out there and it's possible to help out people. I mean, we've had a client in Europe now. Like
I was going to say, what's your farthest client? Okay, Europe.
We had London. Yeah, we had a client in London. That's the record so far. Yeah, and then I mean, even so, I have like a full-time staff member that lives in South Korea. So like, not even just client-wise, we have like staff all over the world now. So it's great.
That's that's phenomenal. And well, congratulations on that growth. I think that there's really something to be said. It's like you don't know what you don't know, and you can't, like, sometimes we can definitely recognize our limitations, but there are times we can't even recognize our limitations because we don't know the beyond or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I totally hear that. So I know what you do, your Larison Media. Tell the listeners a little bit about what you do with that company so they have a better understanding of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're a full service digital marketing agency that in the past few years has really like niched down pretty hardcore to the home services world. So we do a lot of help with like the commercial and residential cleaning industries. We have a lot of clients in the green space. So lawn and landscape companies, tree service companies, things like that. We also have like some HVAC, plumbing and electrical, as well as some roofing clients. So like home service is really our home. But I mean, we're full service. So we have anything from start to finish. We do like logo and branding projects for people, website design and development, ongoing marketing services like paid ad services, social media, organic content, all the way to, we do travel media. So we do like travel videography and photography services for companies where we will travel to them twice a year, create 6 months worth of content, come back in another 6 months. I mean, SEO services with Google. I mean, if it really involves like modern digital advertising, we handle it like all in-house for people.
That's amazing. And I know you do great work because you've done some work for my cleaning company, actually. So that's awesome. So tell me, in that growth and with what you do, because those are, you are a service business as well. So you are people powered. So what challenges have you run into with expanding that quickly and having to add people to your team? Like, what have you run into with that?
Yeah, I mean, all the ones you'd expect. I don't think we were immune to any of the issues that come with growth. I think we've gone through all of them where we've gone from like, oh, we don't have enough people to like borderline, wait, do we have too many now? No, we have just right. I've made the joke. We're kind of like the Goldilocks of staff at times. Like we're like, maybe too hot, just right. And we're trying to figure out what that just right of staff is. But I mean, yeah, staff is a big part of it. And like marketing agency can be hard industry for many reasons, but one of the things I feel like we've done well, and I'm plugged into different groups in the agency world and then other worlds too, like home service worlds that like where you and I met. I'm a really good listener of people's feedback, I think. Where I've learned before we really jumped into that home service world, I heard stories from many home service companies, like the horror stories of the agencies they've worked with in the past. And like, I don't just hear those and write them down in my sales notebook, like to bring it up later. Like, I'm like, all right, sounds like that agency had this issue at this size. What can we do when we get to that size to not have that issue? Like, I'm trying to like precaution think of how can we fix problems before they even come up now. But one of the biggest things I did is it's kind of EOS model-ish. We have a person on staff that is fully in charge of like service. And that's Reese Parsons. Sorry, she got married. Reese Parson. She's our director of client impact. And then we also have a director of agency impact, which is Pam Downing. So I had like really invested in these two leadership roles where I have one person really making sure we are creating impact for our clients. And that's what we call success. You know, it's like internal, local, and beyond impact. How can we be creating that for our clients? She manages that. Pam manages all of our operations, our systems, because honestly, that's the biggest thing I learned is before we got to a certain size that we're at and went through that crazy stage of growth, we had nothing written down. Like we had the space enough and the time enough to just make stuff up as we go. And like when you get to a certain size, you're moving fast and breaking things. And if you're not documenting what was broken, how does it not get broken again? And then also making sure those are being shown to people, you're just going to keep breaking. You know, and we've learned that the hard way a few times. There were multiple $10,000 or more lessons I've had to pay in the last like 36 months of growth. But those hurt. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, but then I've heard stories of much more expensive lessons from people. So I'm grateful that I only had those. Yeah, but it's just, I think having those two people in place and having the realization that it doesn't all, and it can't all just be Drew. Was a big realization for me. So, I mean, staffing was helping with that, but also like the process side of things. We have like what we call like a Larison Media survival guide actually now, which is like a hidden page on our website just for our staff, where we have like all of our FAQs of how to work at Larison Media, how to survive here. And they can look up things like we didn't have anything like that. We barely had a handbook, to be honest. Like we really were. And this goes back to like, it's because I was small minded. Like, we don't need that. We're like a small company in Kokomo. We don't need these things. Right. And then when that changed overnight, I realized like, oh, there's a reason companies have these things. I thought they were just like superficial almost, like to have all these things. Like, we don't need those. Yeah, we did. And now we do. And it's something that's constantly changing.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. And, you know, it's interesting. What I hear you saying is two things. Like, number one, you experience the pain, obviously, of not being prepared, although you wouldn't have known what to prepare for exactly. So there's that, and that's forced your hand to change and now anticipate. People in business always talk about, oh, there's a devil at every level. There's a new devil at the next level, whatever. But you're like, oh, devil, I see you. I see what's coming based on other people, other agency experience, what I've heard in the industry, and we're gonna prepare for that devil, so that we're just like, keep on going.
So I explained it to somebody one time, just growth in general, how hard it is, and I feel like I'm a visual person, might be my ADD, I don't know, but like walking down like a sidewalk with growth of business to me is like visualized as if things are going well, that sidewalk's like pretty wide. You've got room, you're not worried about it. But then like you start growing more and it starts getting more narrow. And then like you're like tiptoeing across, but then it gets wide again, but it doesn't stay wide very long. Then it goes back to being narrow again. Like you just do like this in and out pattern of like walking through like growing of a business. And I feel like what helps is knowing that's normal. You know, because a lot of people, I feel like, I don't know, isn't there some dumb stat? Maybe it's not even real, or it's just something people have said for forever. Like, if you make it past 10 years, you're good. Like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Or I've heard people say even like 5 years. Oh, you made it past 5. You guys have made it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I mean, we've had bigger issues at 9, 8 years than we did from 1 to, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's so dumb. But like, no matter what size you're at, you're constantly doing that. You're just, the sidewalk gets wider and then it gets more narrow. So it gets more wider again, and then it gets more narrow, because like the problems that you have now, you didn't even think existed before. So it's that you don't know these things. But being plugged into groups and learning from people, coaches, and like things like that, that's such a hack to help prepare yourself like for those, widening and narrowing times that are going to exist. And like, there's also, I don't know, I read the book 10X is easier than 2X, I think at a really good time when we really started growing, because there's a quote in that book that I'll never forget. And it's just what got you to where you are today is not what's going to get you to where you're going.
Totally.
Right. And like, and not just like hearing a quote and, like, oh, that's nice, but like, knowing that this is something every single company goes through. There's not been a company ever that there's this size you get to and everything's lollipops and rainbows. Like that just doesn't exist. And knowing that is such a comforting thing to know that like, hey, yeah, it's hard, but guess what? Everybody that you want to be like, or every company that you strive to be like, they all did this too. It's normal.
Right. It's normal. Yeah. I think that's a great point. I the one thing I would say to you is like, it's the widening. I love that visual. It's probably going to be stuck in my head now forever, but it's a good one, the sidewalk visual. And that's the case for businesses that are growing and expanding. If you are not doing that, then that might not be the case. Right. But like, otherwise, if you are growth oriented, which obviously you are extremely driven, then I think that, and the way I talk about it with my staff and my cleaning company, it's like, yeah, we're growing, and yeah, we were using that process 2 months ago. It's not working now. So we're going to change it. And so if you're uncomfortable with pretty rapid change and reworking processes, and then this is not the business for you to be in.
Yeah.
This is not the place for you to work. That's what all the job
descriptions meant. Everybody says it, comfortable in working in a fast-paced environment. I'm like, I thought that was just something you put in a job description. No, it's real.
No, like, it's real.
Those really exist. Those fast-paced environments really are a thing. She doesn't know this yet, but like Pam, who's my operations person, director of agency impact, like making sure that like internally our agency is creating impact for our people and things like that as well. I'm going to like throw a new challenge at her at the start of the year. Weekly, I want to challenge her like, hey, what process was created this week, or what process was updated this week? Because it's impossible that can't be a thing. Right? Like it's so possible. Every week we could be updating a process or creating a new one. And it's hard, but when you write it down on paper, it's so good for everybody. But like, that's a good challenge. Like weekly, what did you change this week? And
so are you go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, I had a thought at the start of the year too. And a lot of people, and maybe there's people listening to this, get stuck in this too. They think these massive changes have to happen overnight, right? And there was some other book that I read where it talked about just the power of like a 5% change. Like, what is one thing you want to get 5% better at this week? It doesn't have to be like, what is this thing you want to completely overhaul this week and be a whole different human next week? We get overwhelmed by that. It's kind of like a diet, right? It's kind of like, cut out something hardcore and you realize like, oh, this is in no way sustainable. But I love that like 5% model, because if you do 5% over 52 weeks, that's a bunch of increase of getting better through the year, right?
Yeah, or even 1%.
Yeah.
Right?
And like a lot of people actually in marketing, they get stuck in that too. Like they think in marketing, you have to make these giant changes. You have to change these giant budgets. You have to start a podcast or you're irrelevant these days. I'm like, that's not true. I mean, maybe that is an answer, but like maybe your 5% is just getting the camera stuff. Or maybe your 5% is just making stories of you on a phone, like you don't need to jump full feet in all the time to have progress. So like, that's what my weekly challenge to her is going to be. Like, I don't need these crazy new processes. I don't need something to be completely overhauled every week. I just want us to be okay with and being comfortable with constantly making little changes. So over time, we're getting way better. And better is literally one of our core values. Like, like better is a big thing to us. So I just want us to constantly be okay with like making little progresses that are going to add up over time.
Well, I think that's how real change and sustained change and growth happen. Right. And I mean, we're talking here in January. I'm not exactly sure when this pod is going to be out there in the world, but this is the time of the year when everyone's like talking about resolutions and massive changes. And it's like, and I used to be one of those people, and I'm not anymore. I don't make any resolutions anymore. And I'm very goal oriented. So I do set goals, but what I look at is like just the little stuff every single day, and how those are feeding into the bigger picture. And am I a little bit better today than I was yesterday in whatever area it is that I'm focusing on? It's all about incremental small changes, because and it's not, those aren't like the exciting, fun, sexy ones that people like to talk about, but that's where the work gets done.
Man, and we could probably blame the internet for that, but like we due to the internet and social media, we all think if it's not crazy, huge, fast, and exciting, that it's not worth our time, which is just such a lie that we tell ourselves, right? It's such a lie that it has to be these giant things. You have to do this much revenue. You have to do like this much of whatever. It has to be huge or it's not worth anybody's time. It's not true. We're also way too focused on what other people think and not focused enough on like just what matters to us,
Totally. Yeah. No, I know. I actually had a conversation with somebody recently who was like, oh my gosh, I saw this person is doing this and this and this and this. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And like, this was a conversation I had yesterday with somebody. And I was like, okay, like, don't worry about them. Like, just stop. Like, just stop. Like, what do you like? And just because you can do something doesn't mean it's the thing that you want to be doing or should be doing. Like, what do you love doing? Do more of that. And that's where you're going to, so it's, the internet's
expression, comparison is the thief of joy.
The thief of joy.
Like,
yep, it is.
Gosh, it's so true. And like the internet doesn't help out with that at all. But I think, great example in our life. So, last June, we bought our new building that we're in, and we went from a 1,900 square foot office to a 19,000 square foot building that we take 7,000 square foot of.
Wow.
Massive building, right?
Massive.
And for some reason, I don't know if it's like a small town thing. Like it got posted in the paper because it was the United Way's building. So like it was kind of like a local news, community news story. And so of course, everybody that sees my wife and I is like congratulating us on this building. And my response is always, because it's a big thing, right? And to them, it looks like this big, impressive milestone of whatever. My response was like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of work. Like that was my response to it. It was like the opposite of like, thank you. Yes, everything is perfect. We bought this new building. I'm like, oh no, we got to renovate this. Just found out there's some mold downstairs we got to take care of. Like I was just like brutally honest about like the building. And their response was always like, oh, okay. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good lesson.
It's like, I got 17,000 square feet of problems now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like I got to rent out the other 8,000 or whatever it is. Like, but it was just a funny lesson of people see a headline and they think everything's rainbows and butterflies. And I'm like, oh no, this is going to be a pain until it's not, Right. But I feel like what you're talking about too, that person talking about seeing their business did this. I don't know. I try not to be a jaded person, but like, did they? Or, what's their profit margin on that? Because there's that whole revenue is for sanity. No, revenue is for vanity, profits for sanity. Right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, just like, we just don't know. And we read a headline and we think we do know, but you just never know like what is actually the truth of what's going on in someone's life. You are 100%, you're 100% on. And that's why it's like, okay, just focus on you, your business, your growth, your profit, your whatever, your happiness, your joy, which, so that's why you're on the show. That's why I want to have you on here, Drew. So, cause I know you've got that mindset. And one thing I wanted to ask you, and it goes with this a little bit, but slightly different. Like the bigger you get, and I'm sure that you have experienced this, and the more successful you are, the more opportunities come your way because people see that, right? And in my intro, it's like you've got 5 different businesses, or I don't know how many different businesses you have, but so I'm sure have said no to a lot of opportunities as well. And so I'm curious from a business, and for me, and I've said no. I was just this morning, I was talking to my wife and I was like, I've said no 3 times to different business opportunities this past year, which would have made me money.
and I shut down and failed on another business. They would have made me money, but they did not increase like my happiness or my joy or any of those things. So I was like, nope, I'm just going to stay the course here. And how do you decide what you say no to and what you say yes to? What process do you go through with that? Hey friend, a quick break to ask you to please go to livebrightshow.com to be added to my email list. Here's the thing. I hate email, so I pretty much guarantee you're not going to receive anything excessive. Only important things like when I have new options in my coaching program, offer free challenges, new courses, release a new pod, or perhaps an occasional biz life tip. That's livebrightshow.com. Now back to the pod.
It's a great question. It really comes down to, and I think you and I have talked about this. So when my wife, so we're 10 years old as a company, but Erin didn't come on full time until around like 4 years ago, something like that. And when she came into the office and she was feeling it all out on what it's like to be there and like what her role really is going to be, even though before she joined the company, her and I literally went to like marriage counseling for like 2 months, to have like a mediator to like really say like, so you think this is a good idea? Like this is okay? Right. And like it was, but smart. Yeah, it was amazing. But she asked me a question one of the first days after work. She said, let me ask you this. What happens? And she's like, this is going to be morbid. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Morbid questions on day 2. Love it. She's like, what happens to the companies if Drew dies? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She says, what happens to the work? What happens to the mission, the clients, the staff, not just like the money side of the business. So she's not asking like what's in the will. She's asking like, what happens to who the business is if Drew dies? And of course, like I had like this ego-filled answer of like, oh, it'll be fine. Like we've really instilled the love of small businesses in our staff and like they will continue to, what I mean? It was like a very ego-centric answer. But then I like realized, I'm like, I have no idea. I don't think it would last. And so that really like sent her and I down this path of figuring out what is called our why as a company. So we read Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, and that triggered us to go through an entire why discovery for actually both of our businesses. And that why statement that comes at the end of that discovery, that has become our North Star for everything each company does. Like Larison Media, we exist to partner with small businesses to help them increase their impact internally, locally, and beyond, because we truly believe that small businesses have the power to change the world. The Kokomo Post, which is our sister company, which we might talk about a little bit. We exist to inform and uplift the people of Kokomo so they are inspired to experience their city in a deeper way. So those are like the 2 why statements for our 2 companies that we have that aren't like real estate and investment purposed. But any decision that comes up that you're talking about, any decision, any opportunity, having those why statements has made those decisions so much easier, because that is the North Star of everything we do at each one of these organizations. And if it doesn't follow that North Star, it's a quick, fast, hard no. And if it does, it's a quick, fast, hard yes. And we move forward with that. So having that purpose or that North Star, like for example, like Larison Media, we exist to partner with small businesses to help them increase their impact. If an opportunity comes up, if a strategy comes up and we don't think it really is going to help them increase their impact, even if it like selfishly just helps us, we don't do it, because that's not why we exist. Like nowhere in our why statement talks about increasing, Larison Media's bank account. Like that's not why we exist as a company. There's been opportunities with the Kokomo Post to do things with other communities, but as of right now, we're like, no, that's not why we exist. We're here for Kokomo. We're here to make Kokomo a better place, right? So we did that why discovery process for our companies, and then that actually turned into a why discovery personally. So Erin and I both, we have personal why statements that we actually went through Simon Sinek's team and did like the whole like personal why discovery with their team. So I have like a personal why statement too, which really ties into Larison Media in a way, but I want to be a positive influence so that together we can dream bigger. Like that's Drew's purpose. I want to be a positive influence for the people around me to help everybody dream bigger than they currently are, which is ironic because I started my career as a very small thinker, but I've seen the light, so to speak. So if personally, I make decisions off of that. Like, is this new opportunity, right? Is this new thing that popped up that you're talking about, which you're right, there's always stuff that pops up. Is that going to help me fulfill my why as a person more? Hard, fast, yes. If it doesn't, not interested in it. So that's how I make those decisions.
That's like the best answer I have heard in a long time, man. That is so good. And I was, as you were talking, I was thinking about how I've made decisions, and it's not as organized as what you're saying. Like, it's not like I have this, but I'm like, oh yeah, well, that's just like a money decision. And that's not enough of a why for me, which is why I've turned down these other things, and it's like, and because and I know, and I do know what my why, but I don't run it through this filter. In the decision. I mean, it's like such a great framework. So thanks for sharing that.
It's the North Star. Like, that's what I literally said. Like, it is. And honestly, for the company wise, we use that for everything. We use it for hiring. We use it for evaluating, like company surveys, like asking questions. Like we have a internal company competition every month. Called the impactometer or an impactometer, depending how you want to say it, I guess. And like, so basically all of our staff, like throughout the month, anytime they see a moment of impact that they created for one of their clients, or they saw one of our staff create for one of our clients, they document that in like a Slack channel that we have. And at the end of the month, we pick like the coolest moment of impact, and there's like a cash prize for it. So like the company walks in that why every day. Like, it's constantly like reminded to them, no, we're here to make impact for our small business clients. Actually, you guys were brought up in one the other day. Like,
I bet we were.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, like those things, we found ways to, like, it's not just something which a lot of times mission statements and stuff like this, it turns into that. Maybe you put it on a wall, or there's a poster, or it's on the first page of the handbook, and then you'd kind of like forget about it. We're walking in our why, like, every day. So like, even internally, I ask myself the question every now and then, like, how have you been a positive influence lately that has helped people dream bigger? Like, I'll ask myself that question. And like, because there's the why, and then there hows and the what's. So like most businesses out there, most professionals out there, most business owners, they know what they do, right? That's a common thing. Like, if you're a cleaning company, you know that you clean, that's what you do. Fewer businesses know how they do it. And that's what I was talking about earlier, like really narrowing down processes, systems. How do you do things differently that maybe competitors don't? Like, what's in your process, and like what makes you function? Like, how do you do what you do? But not a lot of people have really taken that time to figure out why. And when you start with why, which ironically is the name of the book that I was talking about from Simon Sinek, it just bleeds out to everything else. But if you start with why in the middle of that circle, everything's easier, because it just becomes your North Star. It makes every decision easier. It's just so much a better way to move forward through any decision.
Yeah, I think I think it's a phenomenal way to think about things. And it's so simple too. I mean, not to minimize it, but it's so boiled down simple. Yeah. It's this filter or this lens that you use for in your life and in your business. And I remember years ago reading Start With Why. And I mean, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. Like, why? Like, why? And my business, and I was thinking about it from a business perspective. And I was like only, like, not personally, and really struggling with it. Like, really, because once you have the why, the motivation and the drive, that all just kind of, it comes in, it just lines up, and it's not an issue at all. Right. And I was going through this in a time in my business when I was, and I don't know what year it was, but I was burned out. I was not making as much money or as much profit as I thought I should be at that point in time. I had lots of chaos in the business. Like, there's just like a lot of things not going right in my business. Sure. And I couldn't get to it. And I was like, and I remember being like, this activity does not make sense to me. So for right now, my why is just going to be like,
survive.
Make money, but then interestingly, fast forward several years, once I had the what and the how and all of those things and
Mm-hmm.
was making the money, then it's like, okay, now what? And that's where I landed. And before I started my coaching company, it's like the now what, what's the purpose? And I think that a lot of people go through that because they're stuck in survival for so long and they're just doing and grinding. And
Mm-hmm.
then they grind through and they find success, but then they're trying to figure out their why. That it can happen in reverse. And if you can make it happen earlier, it's a lot better, obviously.
Which, like, thankfully, this all did happen before that crazy growth that we had.
Right.
So, but you're right. It makes it so much easier. And like, I think you weren't dumbing it down. Like it really does make it that much easier. And like, there's a reason for that. Because a lot of times things get messy really quickly. And we just say yes to everything. And we're, that's when things get messy. That way should be more simple. What's the KISS method? Like, keep it simple, stupid. There's a reason for that. Right.
Yeah.
But I was thankful we went through that process, and I was extremely thankful that I got asked that extremely random and morbid question from Erin her first week at the companies, because it's led to so much good, moving forward. And we actually offer like why consulting now, like on the side, like we'll come into your business and help you go through that why statement discovery. And it's an amazing thing. It should be simple.
It should be simple. And that's an amazing tie-in for what you do from a branding and marketing perspective too. So that's phenomenal.
That's the cool part about it. Like, we do that why discovery to help you find out your purpose. And at the end of it, then we're talking like, all right, how do we tell people?
Right.
How do we tell people this new why of yours? Like, how do we work this in so your company doesn't just throw this up on a wall one day and then leave it? Right. How do we make sure your company is walking in your why as well? So, I mean,
right.
That's the fun stuff. That's really fun. Like, if Erin and I could do that all day, every day, be a life of a dream. Like, it's just really cool.
Well,
we're working on it. We're working on it, Molly.
Okay. All right. Cool.
As you said, I got a lot of other companies going on too. But yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. What's surprised you about being a business owner?
Oh, probably so many. Like, about myself or just the task?
However, no, probably not the task. More about yourself. Like, what if? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm not unique. I grew up in like a business owner home. So technically I'm like a 4th generation entrepreneur. So my dad owned a business, my grandpa owned it before him, and my great grandfather was a farmer. So like, I mean, my dinner table growing up always started with my mom asking my dad, what did your dad have to say at the shop today? And then I would hear like 25 minutes of shop talk before we would get to like anything else at dinner. So like, I was around it a lot. My dad was in like the manufacturing world, like when 2008 happened, where like most of his customers were car manufacturers and like steel manufacturing. So like, I saw my dad somehow keep his shop open during all of that. And I learned so much just from watching him. And, and unfortunately he passed away like 9 years ago. And there are so many days I wish I could just be like, what is going on? Help me with this.
Of course.
But he did, left a lot of lessons. I've told the story before, but like the best leadership lesson I've ever gotten is when he did pass away, his staff didn't really ask. They just kind of told our family that they were going to be his pallbearers. So his staff like carried his casket, which I'm just like, oof, what other lesson do you need? Right. And
oof,
like I said, they didn't ask. They were just like, we're going to do this. And we're like, okay. That's a level of standard that I've got to keep up for the Larison last name. But I don't know. I was experienced a lot to it, but I mean, a lot of stuff is surprising. I think business owners are wildly stronger than we think we are at times. And I think just this is like an adulting lesson in general, that we are so much more capable of things than we think we are before we start them. And like the hardest part sometimes is actually starting. And then you realize, oh wait, I can do this, And I think we're all the right amount of crazy as well to like have like the guts to start something that a lot of people wouldn't. I don't know, the challenging or the most surprising, you said?
Yeah, but if you want to say challenging, that's great too. Like I know you talked about your rapid growth and how challenging that was, but I challenge what we learn in challenges and during challenges and as we're going through them and then afterwards, and the lessons are also huge. And
Yeah.
I ask those questions, of course, so people can get to know you better, but also because there are lessons that we can pull from each other's stories.
Sure.
And I like the good, the bad, the ugly. I like it all. Right. So, yeah, if challenges, if that comes to mind, then answer that. That's great.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's kind of what we were talking about earlier, and this goes into, ironically, CrossFit as well, but like just adult things in general. I think I really have learned not to really pay attention or compare myself to others or compare our company to others as well. Because there's also this time, especially when we were really just focused on local and like we thought I thought we were going to be a Kokomo marketing agency for the rest of my life. Being a business owner is lonely at times, especially in the point where like I knew what we were doing revenue wise, but I had like no point of reference on what anybody else was doing. So like I kind of floated around for a while, having no clue if I was successful or not. But then you learn like, what does successful even mean? And why are you measuring other people's results and your definition of success? That doesn't make sense. But like, I think that's been the biggest lesson is like, I don't care really what other people are doing. I want us to keep growing. I want us to keep getting better. I want our clients to love us. I want them to be like addicted to the results we can give them, and help grow their impact. Even that goes back to the why. But like even at CrossFit, I mean, you did CrossFit for a while, so there are some competitive people in CrossFit gyms, and like all they care about is getting the next PR on a snatch or getting their next deadlift PR or their Murph times and things like that. And it's kind of funny because I'll walk around and I'm like, man, I've won just because I showed up today. I am so pumped.
Totally.
Like I could care less how many plates are on my bar. Like, I mean, I'm not like lazy with it or I'm being too lackadaisical with it, but like, I've just learned that lesson. Like why would I be comparing myself? I've been in CrossFit for like a year and a half. Why would I intentionally care about what I'm doing compared to people that have done this for like 15 years? Like, it's so silly. It's just so silly that we do that. And that happens in business, right? Like, why would I be comparing my business in Kokomo, Indiana, compared to like somebody in Los Angeles, California, that's a 30-year-old agency? You know what I mean? It's just like, but it's just noticing that and like really learning, I don't care what other people are doing. If I'm happy, my staff's happy, my clients are happy, we have like an attitude of better, I can't ask for more than that. Like that's been the hardest lesson, like getting out of that mindset of just constantly comparing but even caring. Like I said, like, cause you walk around like, I have no clue what other companies are doing revenue wise. And there's no way I'm going to know unless I like ask them, which I'm not just going to go up and ask them, So like, why care so much about that information that really doesn't change anything at the end of the day on like how we're doing what we're doing? That's a hard lesson, but once you get on the other side, it's unbelievably freeing.
Oh, so freeing. It's so freeing. Yeah. And I think that, there are lots of, different groups out there based on certain, like based industry groups, like on window cleaners or house cleaners or marketing agencies or whatever it is. And it's fantastic because there's a share of industry knowledge, but there's a ton of competition and comparison that also happens in those I've seen it get unhealthy, right? Like, it's like, what do you actually want in life? Like, and if you have a $10 million business, but you only have a 3% profit margin, like I'd much rather have a $2 million business with a 15% profit margin any freaking day. Right.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I think it's good for knowledge and learning, but obviously not for the other pieces. So good for you for being on that. That's like success, man. That's fantastic.
I didn't notice it until I think I got to a certain point at the gym, and I just didn't notice, like, I wasn't looking around what everybody else is doing. I just showed up and did what I was doing, and I was happy with it. And I'm like, oh,
nice.
That feels so much better than like constantly looking what everybody else is doing and then looking what I'm doing and being
Feeling
disappointed all the
bad,
time. Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. Do you have because so you're defining success for yourself personally and your businesses in the way that works for you, which is awesome. And one of the
hmm
ways, of course, is impact. And you said you had your impactometer
hmm
at your staff and your Slack channel. That do you have like an actual do you have like a KPI or a numerical value
hmm
attached to that you're measuring annually? I'm super curious about
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
We have like yearly goals where there's like a really fun prize or like bonus for everybody if we hit this many moments of impact by the end of the year, or X amount of other KPIs that we track and everything like that. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's all built around that why, and like
Yeah.
because different KPIs mean much different things in the world of marketing. But like for us internally, it's all about those moments of impact. Like how can we create those and more of those and deeper of those and bigger of those? And like that's what we're measuring.
I love that. I think it's hard to objectify like or come up with like objective measures for some
Yeah.
of those things. And so we're working on that at my cleaning company around our core values, kindness, integrity, community, and professionalism, right? So we recognize people around those, but I'm like,
hmm
I'm trying to figure out how to tie it into our dashboard essentially
Sure.
in a more significant way.
We
So
have probably something similar to what you're talking about. We have like a core compliments box in our office
mhm,
that has like
mhm.
a bunch of like note cards. And if you see somebody that did something that was like unbelievably a core value, you write them a little note. And then at the end of the month, we hand out the notes to everybody like hey, so-and-so wrote this about you. So-and-so wrote this about you. And that's been a really cool thing as well. Like
Oh, that's great.
secretly, because they're all anonymous is the goal. So it's a
Ooh.
little like Secret Santa-ish, like you don't know who's giving what. So you just know it doesn't really matter who said it. What matters is someone noticed it and like they took the time to write it on paper, so you know that they know. So
That's
it's
great.
it's it's
Yeah,
a cool thing. Yeah.
that's cool. And I mean, having uh, God, Drew, I could talk to you for hours, but having a culture of appreciation is so
This has
key,
always been our
right?
problem with you and
I
I. We
know,
could talk too long.
I
Yeah.
know, I know, right? It's like I feel like I've known you forever too. It's like it's funny, but yeah, having creating that culture of appreciation and of seeing people, and it can't just be top down. It's got
Yeah.
to be, I don't know, peer to peer or whatever, however you want to say that
Got to
as
walk
well.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah, got to walk in it. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, listen, man, I had so many other questions I wanted to ask you, but this has been a delightful conversation. I'd love to wrap up with just a little bit of rapid fire ridiculousness if you're game for it.
Always down
Because
for
I want to.
ridiculousness.
Okay, good. And all right, so there's not really any rules. I usually to this rapid fire ridiculousness. I usually tell people that if they don't want to answer a question, then they can say skip.
Okay.
But then I usually push them into answering the question
Okay.
as I listen. So you can
It's a
try
good warning.
it.
Yeah.
You can try it. But hey, I do want to ask one more sort of serious question. I think I have a sense of the answer. I want to ask a serious question before I get in there. And that is, what advice would you give to younger Drew or somebody getting started in your industry in particular, like in the media world? What would you give? What advice would you give to them or you?
No matter how big you think you're dreaming, you're not dreaming big enough.
Ooh.
Like no matter how big you think your plans are or how big you think you can take something, it's not even close to where you actually can. That's what I would say.
Dude, I'm gonna put that on my wall. I like that. That's good. That's good. It's true. It's so true. It's so true.
Like if I could tell 5 years in, 4 years in, 1 year in, Drew, that like, what are you doing, you small-minded weirdo? Like you could do so much more than what you think you're capable of. Just do it. And you just have to start it. I would be in a different place right now than I am right now. And I missed out really on years of opportunity because of it. And I hate the idea of regret. I have like a goal of my last breath. I have 0 regrets. I want to be able to say like, I did it all or I had it all, but like, that is a regret, like not going big enough, quick enough.
Do you think though, do you think maybe you needed to be in that place to have the life you have now and have that perspective?
Possibly. Yeah, there's lessons. There's lessons I've learned from like, I mean, yeah, like now the lesson is that I'm telling my past self, like, hey, go for it quicker. Right. And
Okay.
I wouldn't have had that if I went quicker. But yeah, like that's you, whatever you think you're dreaming, I guarantee it could be bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't limit it. Like, why limit it? Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. No, totally. Totally. And especially if you're doing what you love and yeah, why limit it? Thank you. That's awesome. All right. So we'll get into the ridiculousness now. That was
All
great.
right.
So I'm going to start out really easy. This is just rapid fire, but like, all right. So what's your favorite pizza?
Just like classic, easy New York style, thin, crispy cheese. The golden medal
Nice.
slice, in my opinion. Just give me a really good cheese slice of like good New York style pizza.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Okay. What's your favorite way to play every day?
Oh, probably with my kids, like being silly with them and like leaving it all on the table and like zero regard for anything, just playing with my kids.
Oh, yeah, totally. Kids are so good at helping us do that, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's so great. What's your favorite TV show right now?
Ooh, my all-time favorite TV show is a show called The Newsroom that was on, it was an HBO show. But I just started the show Shrinking. And
Oh my God.
that's really good. I'm only on episode like 5. But I also just watched The Sopranos for the first time, and that might be in my top 3. It was that good.
Okay, really different shows. I have
Yes.
to say I'm a little envious of you that you are just at the beginning of Shrinking. I've watched
Yeah,
all of it. It's
That's
so
one of my
fun.
shows. That's one of the shows Erin has watched all the way through and just didn't invite me to watch along when she was watching it. So I'm trying to play catch up now. Yeah, it's really good.
That's great. Next big vacation spot.
Oh, great question. We're actually going to Portland, Maine, or Portland, Oregon for the first time in May of this year for a wedding. We're going out there. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Excuse me. All right. Holiday, your favorite holiday. And why?
Oh man, that's tough.
Your birthday? Just kidding.
No, birthdays are overrated. It's my daughter's birthday today. Happy birthday, Ellie. I don't know. I guess Christmas. Like, I love the holiday because my family has this new tradition where we don't do a bunch of gifts for Christmas anymore. We go on a trip together, and the kids find out where we're going on Christmas morning, and we always fly out the 26th. And like, that's just completely transformed Christmas to us for a really cool way. So probably Christmas. I like Christmas.
I love that. That's a great tradition. And I love the surprise element of it. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always
good.
like a scavenger hunt on Christmas morning to like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. All right. A little would you rather. Okay. Would you rather? Okay. So would you rather like flit around space for a week in a spaceship, or would you rather explore under the sea in a submarine?
Oh, space for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
The ocean scares me. I don't even like going into the ocean at the beach. I don't think we belong there. That was created for the fish. Land was made for us. I don't think we belong there.
Okay.
The fact, like, there's some like scientific fact that we haven't even seen 99% of the ocean with all the science that happens in this world. That scares the crap out of me. I am perfectly good with space. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah. Strong feelings on
feelings.
that. I am not a fan of being in the ocean. No.
Okay. All right. Last question. Would you rather be a human bear, like just hairy, like completely eyelids, everything, or be hot all the time?
Oh my. So you're talking about like a human bear or like a literal, would I rather be a bear?
A human bear. Like you're Drew, but you're just like hairy.
Be hot all the time. I'd rather be hot all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like cold weather in general.
Yeah.
So even if I am a bear, hairy, I'd rather be in hot. Yeah.
So you'd be a hot bear?
No, I'd just be a hot me, I guess.
You're already hot, you Drew. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on. Last question for you. And this is a little more serious, but would you, do you think this, like, you've got this kick-ass life you've got going on, and we just scratched the surface of it and talked mostly business, but I see you out there. Do you feel like it's more by luck or by design?
Oh man, it's a good mix. I would say design.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because luck only gets you so far. You got to design it and take action to actually make it happen. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, hey, that is the show. Thank you for joining me here, Drew. It was great having you. And until next time, live bright.
Appreciate it.
And that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Live Bright Show. If you enjoyed this pod, please go to livebrightshow.com to be in the know for new program offerings and podcast releases. Molly has more awesome guests and content coming your way, so you're going to want to be on that list. Also, just because you're still listening, it would be incredible if you could go ahead and subscribe to this podcast and provide the show with a 5-star review. You know how they help. Go forth, have fun, and live bright, friends.